Hello and welcome to Supercoach Swordplay. It's Spillsy. I'm joined by Chavy Joe from the Centre Bounce, and it's great to have you on the potty, mate. Who else would I rather get for this one? We're going to be doing the Essendon Team Preview, and it might be a bit of a difficult one to do because we have an early bye, and there's just a lot going on the Dons behind the scenes. So a lot of uncertainty on roles and players with limited pre-seasons, but that's why we're here. We're here to dissect that and talk about it and discuss whether or not certain players are going to be relevant and good selections for your side. But before we get into it, Joey, mate, how are you? Welcome to the podcast, mate.
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much for having me in the rebranded Supercoach Swordplay YouTube channel. Really exciting. You guys have done an incredible amount of work so far this preseason, absolutely pumping out the content. You know, you, Janath, of course, DR, you guys have put in so much work interviewing all these different, podcasters and YouTubers from all of the different, teams that were supporting. Really honored to be here for the Bombers. You know how much I love my Bombrays. And really looking forward to talking all things Essendon for our wonderful viewers.
Oh yeah, it's going to be exciting. I always say it every year. When's it going to come for the Bombers? Are they going to make the finals? Are they going to win a final? Is this our year, mate? We've just recruited Kako. We'll talk about him later. But do you see Essendon climb up the mountain a bit, or you reckon we're going to finish off sort of where we finished 2024?
I think it's not pushing for finals this year. I can't say that. I like to consider myself a based supporter after having seen all of our troubles. And definitely this is a year of development
100%.
from within. A year of development from within. And I don't mind if we missed out on I don't mind if we finish the same place as we did last year, but it was because of consistent good football that just fell short week after week, as opposed to starting hot and then crashing and burning in sensational fashion like we've done the last 2 years. I want to see us be more consistent and see the youngsters take that next step.
Oh, it's unbelievable to think that we were second on the ladder after the buys and we didn't even make the finals alongside Collingwood and Carlton. Imagine how good that would have been if we all finished inside the top four, but not meant to be. But we'll see how we go. But yeah, it should be good tonight, man. I'm really looking forward to this one, but it's just annoying because I can't put my goggles on because of this bye. We got the round 4 bye that we share with Hawthorn, so that might come into fruition in terms of premiums. There are a few far between, but a lot of rookies to discuss, so it should be extremely exciting. Before we get into it, we do have a discount for our season guide, which will be coming out I think next week. I think Janath's in the process of nearly finalising it, which is just unbelievable. I can't even stress how much work's gone into this. So it's massive kudos to everyone involved. And we got a code, the Centre Bounce 10. So if you apply that code when pre-ordering the guide, you'll get, I don't know the percentage, but it'll be $15.
10% discount.
10% discount. So you're all over it, mate. You should be on the store plane instead of me because I'm just off the ferries at times. But yeah, 10% off. So make sure you chuck in that code if you want to get in on that. But this is the holy grail of Supercoach, mate. It's going to be like a Supercoach Bible in many ways. So we're really excited to launch that. And we've also got the rehab room. So I guess we'll start off with this one. I think it's Parish at the moment who did leave the track. And then we know Ridley as well with another calf strain. He's one of the more injury-prone blokes in the competition. But sorry, anything you really want to add here, mate, in terms of the rehab?
Yeah, I mean, those really are the big two. Obviously, we had Mackay over the preseason was in the rehab room. We've had Durham in the rehab room. But those two guys both came out. Thankfully, just as of today, and they both participated in the training today within 12th of Feb, which is excellent. And then obviously Jai Caldwell was coming off a surgery for his hip last year, and he's now been integrated into the full match sim as well. So a lot of our important players are out there on the park, obviously missing Darcy Parish. I can see him missing the entire first half of the season because he's had like no preseason. It's been ridiculous.
Yep. And that will benefit a lot of players. That makes the Bombers a little bit more relevant through the misfortunes of more key cogs in our lineup from a team perspective.
Yep.
So good for Supercoach, but probably not good for our team. So that alludes to what you were saying before. We think it's more of a development year. And I totally agree. I'm not expecting anything from the Dons despite a really hot first half of the year. But the rehab room is absolutely chock-a-block at the moment, full house. So hopefully we get that sorted. But on the flip side, who's burning up the track? I want to say Tsatas straight off the bat. He's the rookie that we love, and I can't wait to watch him play this year. Absolutely bullish on him. Is there anyone else that you've noticed that's really having a dominant preseason, mate?
Yeah, well, I've got a couple that come to mind, and we'll be talking about all of these guys in a minute. But the new role change for Dylan Shiel. Puff Pace came out recently, but it's been happening for the last couple of months, lining up at halfback, using that run and gun, that burst of pace. All of us Essendon supporters were sort of questioning. Basically, I think a lot of us thought that Dylan Shiel was done and that Dylan Shiel is not going to be, he's just purely depth now. But he's done so well being reinvented as a halfback flank now. And he's really getting involved up the ground. It's not just staying at home. He's using his pace. Obviously, he was a midfielder, pushing forward, hitting the scoreboard, running off halfback. So, Dylan Shiel has been almost a revelation off halfback this preseason.
Could save his career in a way. It's probably a bit dramatic, but he virtually played the whole season in the VFL last year, which is pretty unbelievable, and just couldn't quite get it done. The year prior to that, a massive sub risk as well, half forward, a little bit of midfield, but I'm interested to see how this halfback role goes. It seems to be the way, doesn't it? So whenever there's a high profile player that's under a little bit of pressure down forward or in the midfield, let's just chuck him off half back. Maybe a little bit of a smaller Rory lob, but we'll wait and see, mate. I need to see it first to believe it. But yeah, it's good to see Shield getting another opportunity. Again, we'll discuss this furthermore in a moment. And before we get into the defenders, it's probably a good idea to assess the kick-in. So Pidge and Red Dog are the main two. Nick Martin as well, if he's not getting pushed up the ground. But I see a massive window of opportunity for some youngsters to really step up and some really relevant mid-prices that are going to be in discussion. Ridley won't be there. Heppel's retired. Hind delisted, and Merrett obviously comes in and out from time to time. But does this mean maybe an Archie Roberts will get kickouts? Is there anyone else that you could see getting a few kickouts if it's not McGrath, if it's not Redmond? Like, what do you reckon, Joey?
Yeah, it's possible that Archie Roberts. I think Archie Roberts will be playing a mixture of wing and halfback, and I think we've recruited a guy in the off season as well, sort of going a little bit under the radar. He's not a flashy player, but he's got a booming left foot kick, and that is Jackson Pryor. So Jackson Pryor couldn't break into what was a premiership side at the Brisbane Lions, and it makes perfect sense. He's not going to kick out Harris Andrews, Starcevic, Payne. Like, there's a bunch of great players in the back line for the Brisbane Lions. So couldn't make it there. He's come to the Bombers. Has some family ties to the Bombers. His father I'm not sure.
Yeah, he does.
Father. Yeah. So I can see that he could be the Kelly replacement, and he could play in the back line. He could take some kick-ins as well.
No, I really like that. I love that shout. It's probably a good idea to quickly discuss him as well, because I don't think DR's put a slide in for him, which goes to show how underrated he is. So he's probably, he gets overlooked because he's known as a VFL player, but albeit for a great team like Brisbane. We know what they've done on and off the field. Crazy story, great success for them. But Essendon, I think we need a little bit of that, and that Kelly replacement is ideal. So he could be someone that we chuck in our defence around 160K. And I'll tell you, mate, for that price, there are not many of them. You got Travalia, and that's it. There is no one in that price range. So really screams a bit of value.
100%.
And that D5 or 6 is really crucial. It seems a bit dicey running a Bo Allen and a Saad El-Hawli, like at your D5 and D6. I'm trying to assess that because I don't really want to be stuck fielding those two. So I think Pryor could be a pretty good shout. So he's one to watch over the preseason. I really like him, but a big opportunity for some certain players to step up for kick-ins because 3 of these 7 or 8 have essentially not on the list. So That's promising, but one that will get kick-outs, no doubt, Nick Martin. So Nick Martin's a really interesting one. For me, I've got this dot point here. I've compared him to Clark. I've got Clark over Nick Martin. The buy factor plays into that a lot.
Yeah.
But at least with Clark, he's playing off half-back. There's no sugarcoating it. There's not much value. There's not much downside to it. I think he can do a little bit better than his current average. Where Martin, I think, has the ceiling to absolutely dominate, kick a few goals playing forward, few cheap kicks around the ground. But I think the floor's a lot lower as well because he's so versatile, which is great for the team, but probably a bit of a red flag for Supercoach. I'm a bit nervous. I want to watch and see how he goes. But
yeah,
what do you reckon on Nick Martin, Joe's in your team?
Mate, we love Nico Martin. He's an absolute superstar. Genuine. I can't believe we managed to steal him out at Subiaco from right under West Coast's nose. That is unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
With an SPP selection, like not even in the draft. Like it's ridiculous. One of the steals, biggest steals. And we tried him off the halfback. We tried him halfback, but his kicking for some reason absolutely let him down, and he could not hit a target to save his life. So,
did you sideways trade him last year? Were you one of those? I did. I was so guilty of that. He and Young, Grundy, idiot. I did all of them. Martin was the main one. Trade him back in 2 weeks later.
Man, I was preaching about this guy all preseason. I was preaching Nick Martin to anyone who could hear, even if you were deaf. I was learning sign language so I could tell you to pick Nick Martin for your Supercoach team, and I traded him out just like that because I couldn't believe how bad of a kick he became all of a sudden. But we realized his best position is forward of the ball. His best position is where he's kicking it inside 50 and hitting the scoreboard. He was one of the best wingers in the comp. He's going to be almost like James Hird in terms of just having the clearance to do whatever the hell he wants all over the ground. But yes, with that comes a lot of variations in his Supercoach scoring, plus the early buy. Yeah, I don't have him in my team at the moment. I'll just enjoy him with my eyes and not with my Supercoach team.
Oh, mate, that infamous round 1 game against Hawthorn last year was like 38% by foot.
I was there, and I'm looking to my brother. I'm like, what's going on here? What is going on?
I was with my missus at the time, and I was just freaking out. She's like, "Can you stop looking at your bloody Supercoach?" I'm like, "You're not understanding. This is unacceptable. This bloke should be performing so much better than that." And I think I just got a bit of PTSD. Even though I got him back in the side, he's still. I don't know. I would have wanted a little bit more from him. But, yeah, that buys a massive factor. And I think a tag threat as well. He's a massive tag target. If they're not going for Merrett, if we get dangerous forward with the ball, when we're in offensive mode, which we do a lot of the time, we're a chaos, high-risk, high-reward team, I think sides will put a lot of work into Nick Martin based off last year because he's very dangerous, as he's shown in many games, regardless if he's playing off halfback, on the wing, or forward of the ball. So, he's one to watch, but I'm with you, mate. He's not going anywhere near my team at the moment, but I have seen him in a few sides, so obviously worth the discussion. Another defender, and speaking of PTSD, Zach Reid. So what a segue, mate. Jeez, I surprised myself at the best of times, but this is owned by way too many people, 32.9%, 33% owned. Hasn't been in my team all preseason. I just I can't do it again. I can't have him rotting away on my bench. I get it. He's having a great preseason. He looks good. Surely he can stay on the park, but it says here, talented player but can't stay on the park. Sums up with a T. And look, we know what he can do. He's capable of intercepting, great kick by foot. He's exactly what we need. I think he's got one of the best job security of any rookies coming through, particularly in the back line. So he ticks a lot of boxes there, but can he hold it together, mate? I don't know. Is he worth the risk? That is the question that we've got here. So I'll chuck this one to you. I'm going to say no, but if we don't get any other options and let's just say Bo Allen isn't named, Buslinger's not getting opportunity, that's probably where I'll elect to look for a Reid, but primarily, mate, I'm not really looking for him. What about yourself? You're obviously hot on him. Can you talk us through that one?
Yeah, he's on my bench only because, just in case, just in case he gets an injury during a game, like he's known to have. So I have him on the bench just in case for those circumstances. But it's the top tier job security. You know what I mean? Like it's the top tier job security. He's our Harris Andrews, our young Harris. We really need him to stay on the park. From a Bombers perspective, like he's going to be the cornerstone of our back line for many years to come, and form an incredible partnership with Rids, and him staying on the park just improves our defensive makeup so much. With Mackay as well, and all three of them. None of them are old. Obviously, Reid's really young, but hasn't played too much. He's got the talent. He can kick with both feet. He can spoil. He can take marks.
You can see why it was top 10 draft pick.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Even though it's a soft draft, he's got a lot of accolades that suggest that he could be the next Harris Andrews.
What he can do at his size is ridiculous. It's not fair.
Yeah.
So
I really look forward to watching him get together. I did grow up with his older brother. He was in my outdoor ed class, my PE class. So I've known him, and they're an unbelievable football family.
Yeah,
I mean they've got height on their side, and they all play like half back, and they dominate. Obviously, Archie's just got drafted to West Coast as well. I think it was the year before last year. So they're a great footy family. So I'd love to see him get his stuff together, mate. Because there's a big all these things suggest that he's gonna be a great pick because he can do it all. Job security is elite, but there is one elephant in the room, mate, and it's one game in 5 years. So we need to pump those numbers up, mate. That's
he's played a bit more than that. I could have sworn he's played more than that. I reckon I recall the game where he played against Brisbane. I don't know. I think he's played 8 games now.
2021,
yeah. So we say 8 games very loosely, considering the fact that he only played the first quarter against the Hawks last year, and then was done. But I think another thing that he has going for him is that he will not be the sub, or he's unlikely to be subbed out as well. So it means he's going to play a full game if he's fit.
No, you are right there. That must be a typo. I'm not really sure where that come from, but he has played 8 games. But obviously, that debut was a pretty rough one against Brisbane.
Oh yeah.
So 8 games. I wasn't sure about that. I saw the one. I'm like, might be a typo there, but we'll move on from that. So Zach Reid, he's very well in contention. Hopefully, he can become a really good rookie. We've got to watch him over the preseason games. He's one I'm really looking forward to seeing. And here's another one, Saad El-Hawli, and he was the real revelation of our VFL program last year. We all remember the infamous game here at the bottom, 127. I think that's fantasy, not Supercoach. I did find this dot point. I couldn't find the Supercoach. I looked for a good 10 minutes. I couldn't find anything. So 127 fantasy, 27 disposals, and 4 goals. That is crazy stuff. That's probably at least 150 Supercoach, surely. It's got to be close. So will he get a role? Obviously, 25 touches and 6 marks per game in the VFL. But I don't know if he's in Essendon's best side. He's one to watch. Highly owned, just under 60%. So we'll wait and see. Do you have anything you can add on El-Hawli? Because he's someone I'm very, very bullish on. I think we do need him coming into our back line for sure.
Yeah, no, he's been wonderful, Saad. And the thing that he also does really well is that he's not just a midfielder or a forward who's been chucked on a wing. Like he's a genuine winger and knows how to play. And the thing that really stands out to me in the preseason training is that he really maintains his width, and that's what you need from your wingers: maintaining the width, not getting sucked up to the contest. And I think that's something that Nick Martin does a lot, getting sucked up to the contest. So he is genuinely a great winger, and I think he's battling it out with Archie Roberts for a spot in the side, I think, at this point, because Archie Roberts is being put halfback and wing a little bit, and that is the exact same role that Saad El-Hawli is going to play, with obviously Xavier Dersma on the other wing, who is a dedicated winger for us as well.
He ain't going nowhere, though.
No. Xavier's in for sure. So
and that's a tricky one. I reckon I'll be optimistic. I reckon he plays, but then there'll be a bit of glass half empty though. I reckon he will be sub.
Yeah.
I reckon he's our sub for the year.
So I did the write up for the Bombers. I did the preseason guide, and I have him as the sub in our best 22.
And he ticks all the box. Why wouldn't he? I know we put our Supercoach goggles on for sure. We have to, but as Essendon realists, mate, how couldn't he be the sub? I mean, he ticks all the boxes for being a great sub. He can play off halfback, and he can go on the wing and attack as well. He can score. Yeah. He's good with his disposal, but there's way too many mouths to feed back there. The wingers a really tricky spot. The Dons, obviously Dylan Shields going back. Archie Roberts in the mix as well. It makes things really, really difficult. So he's on my bench at the moment. More of a placeholder because I can't really fit anyone else. But I don't know. I'm nervous, even if he is starting on the wing or at halfback or just on.
He could be subbed out at any point. Correct.
Anytime, and I can't. Yeah, I can't stress with that. So that's the real red flag here. But other than that, he looks like he could be a great rookie for us.
Oh, he'll be a great player for us for sure.
We need him to. We'll wait and see. I really hope he can come out and score like 150 Supercoach again in the preseason. And then Brad Scott's like, I have to pick him. He's coming in.
Correct.
Yeah, we'll make someone else a sub. Maybe Gresham or something. Who knows? But
unlikely on that money. Unlikely on the money we're paying him.
Oh yeah, they rate him. They rate him a lot. But
they do.
All right, we'll go on the next one. I'm probably losing my voice tomorrow. I probably haven't drank enough water, so that's poor preparation on my behalf. But you're the ultimate professional, mate. I bet you keep her hydrated, that's for sure. But look, before we get into the mids, the big boys, there's not really many, but we'll discuss the CBAs. So it's obviously Merrett. It's Merrett every year, and we'll talk about him in a minute. And then obviously the two ruck combo. Parish is injured. Setterfield's very hit and miss. Draper's in the mix as well. Shiel will not be there, playing off halfback, obviously. Durham in the rehab group. Caldwell's been injured. Who goes in the midfield here, mate? Zach Merrett's in there. Who is around him? What upside is there? Who's stepping up, mate? What do we got?
I can't see the slides. I feel like it's a perfect segue. Is Elijah Tsatas the next slide?
I don't reckon he is, but Zach Merrett.
No, not quite. But it's Elijah Tsatas for sure. It's going to be Elijah Tsatas. He's tearing up the preseason. He was drafted as an inside mid. He's a top draft pick playing in that position. He can spread. He can. Oh my God, he is way far away. Where is he, mate? He's the perfect partner for Zach Merrett. Let's just say
he's in there. I probably should have had a bit of an order. I think he got randomized from Price. So
yeah, maybe.
But we will get to him. But he is like he's the epitome of what you want in an Uber rookie.
Yes,
and I reckon he ticks all the boxes that I suppose El-Hawli doesn't. I don't think Elijah's a sub risk anymore.
No.
We'll get to him in a moment because there's more stats to back it up. But yeah, he's a great segue. He's one that comes in. I'm sure there's going to be others as well that we touch on. We may as well touch on Zach Merrett. So one thing I always note from Merrett every year is you can always get him at a cheaper price. There's never value. There's never value in Merrett. He started hot last year, but yeah, $621K. I remember trading him in for $580, and I think I have done that $570, $580, $590 even, like 2 or 3 years in a row. Has the buy too. The buy is the obvious red flag for all these picks. That's the risk of, that's the format. That's just how it is. So I think you look at him post-buy. So yeah, I reckon he's top 5, if not top 4 mid. I'm not even putting my goggles on for the Dons. I genuinely believe that he's one of the great kicks of the comp and just a proven Uber midfielder. But he is prone to tag, so that does bring him undone at times. And then there's obviously some talk of this halfback role. I don't know about it. I probably maybe a little bit, particularly if he's taking kick-ins, might drift a little bit. But I don't think it'll be too much halfback. He's way too important in the midfield of all the injuries we've had. And
yes,
in summary, worth starting. I don't think so because of the buy, because of the tag, because of the price. But once he's had his buy, I will be looking at him as an upgrade target if we can get him at a reasonable price, because I guarantee you he will be a top 5 mid at least. But that's all I've got to say on Merrett, really. It's pretty obvious for that. But anything you want to really elaborate with Zach Merrett? Are you in the same sort of boat?
Yeah, same boat. Upgrade target. He's got the Hawks in round 1, and Hawks are pretty tough. They like the tag. And then he's got Port in round 3, and I don't know off the top of my head if Willem Drew will be back for that game, but if he is, we'll probably go straight to Merrett in that midfield. So that's already a couple of tags in the first 4 weeks before his bye. So I think we can get him after his bye when things start to open up a bit more with Melbourne, West Coast, Collingwood, and North in those games to come. So I think, yeah, I can't see myself starting him, but at the same time, I can't see myself finishing my team without him either. He's a truly reliable skipper for the Bombers. We're very truly privileged to have him walk through our walls, and he's a two-way player. He's not just a downhill skier who goes that way and does all of his work. He does the hard work in the tackling on the defensive side of things, and I think he might have had more of a back role possibly, but ever since Shiel was moved back there, I think it's now been entirely ditched, and Zach Merrett will probably be resting forward more to avoid the tags. So I think that halfback role you can scrap that now with Dylan Shiel, but he's still going to be our number 1 midfielder, our number 1 CBA attendee with a bit more forward time, I think.
Our midfield's always been super stacked. I think it's not as much this year. So obviously opportunity for other players to step up, but all the more reason for Merrett to stay there. So don't worry, he's not going anywhere. He will be playing, I reckon, at least 85% most weeks. So I back him in for that. Yeah, he's the Uber premium that I think you wait on. Yeah, you jump on. I never not pick him. He's fun to watch, particularly when you go on for the Dons. But yeah, you can. I don't see any value in starting him at all, particularly with a bye. Darcy Parish, major durability risk for sure. He's currently in the rehab group, and he will take mid minutes when he returns.
Next year, maybe.
Next year. All right. So Joey's confident that we're not going to see much of Big Darcy this year. No. I'm not going to lie to you. And if you're a Dons fan and you disagree, you can come after me if you want. I've rated Setterfield a lot higher than Darcy Parish since he's turned up at the club.
Wow.
And I thought Setter was extremely stiff not to play. Injury let him down, obviously.
Correct.
But when he was in, I think it was 2023, I reckon.
Yeah.
Start of 2023.
That was glorious.
I think, did we meet?
We were there.
Game? We were there. With George and JD.
Yep.
And set a goat against Gold Coast. Would he pull a 180 something? Just ridiculous. I mean, he
went crazy. He kicked the goal. Bro, we lost our mind that game. JD till now still tells me when he closes his eyes, he can hear my screams of set a goat going on in the back of his mind. It was such a crazy game, that one against the Gold Coast Suns. That was the best.
Oh, mate, yeah, unbelievable. But, yeah, I hope Setterfield gets fit and does return. We've got to see it first before we even consider him in Supercoach.
He seems fit from the preseason.
Just needs an opportunity.
Yeah. Well, he might have it with Parish out. Parish, like I said, I can't see him in the entire first half of the season. I can't see him play. He's had next to no preseason. His back has really hampered him. The most he's done is just lapse. And
it was recent to December as well. So it wasn't just a back injury that he was carrying from last footy season. It's actually been re-injured just before Christmas. So that's one to keep in mind. So, yeah, Parish is a bit unlucky, but it opens the door. So obviously our wings and halfback roles are jam-packed, but I think vacancies and opportunities in the midfield will really open up. So we'll see what happens there. And Dylan Shiel, one of those that we just discussed. So he's playing off halfback, and that could be interesting. A bit of an Ollie Hollands type. So obviously not known for his kicking efficiency, but the role's good. That's all that matters. We'll see. Hopefully doesn't do a Nick Martin round 1, but we'll find out where he's at. And I couldn't buy a game last year, so he saved his career. Hopefully, I think this is his last chance. If you can't make it work off halfback, I don't think he'll make it work at all. Basically played all VFL last year, but future DPP, is he worth a look? 413K, Joey. Are you interested? Do you rate Dylan Shiel?
Look, let's just say I want to watch the preseason games. Let me just watch the preseason games, and then I'll get back to you. I'm not ruling it out, because I've got some friends who are very skeptical. Very skeptical. They're very analytical, and they are, they're not easy to please. Like when they give me their opinion, when they give me their advice, I listen to it and I actually take it on board. They're not yes men, is what I'll say.
Yep.
And they liked what they saw of Dylan Shiel of halfback when they went to the club on Saturday last week to watch the intra club, the practice game, and they came back saying, "Wow, Shiel was really, really good off halfback."
So that's the insight that we need. So
yeah,
I've got to say,
I'm not ruling him out. Not ruling him out. Look at him, bro. He's so buff and he's so fast. It's almost like the perfect role. Like we've been missing that super fast run of halfback since the Saad and McKenna days. This could be it.
I hope so, and I don't know. It feels like I haven't seen him in 2 years on our list. It's been unreal, but I hope he can turn it around. I do need to see it first before I go anywhere near him. But if you're doing draft, I think you can back him in at a late round. And I know a few blokes, particularly at work, that are hot in their draft. So he'd be one that I give a bit of a shout out to. But that's great intel. I did not know that. Wasn't aware that people were that bullish on him, particularly watching him play, and said he looked great. That's fantastic.
Not even just that. He literally said revelation. Like he literally used the word
big word
revelation.
That's a big word, isn't it?
It's a very big word. So I want to see it. I have to see it. I have to see it. I'm skeptical myself. I have to see it. But geez, I'm not ruling it out.
Well, hopefully we'll look at him after his bye. Can Dylan Shiel be the revelation that the Dons need? We'll find out. Here we go, mate. There's the revelation.
There's the revelation.
So this is what we've been waiting for the whole podcast. You waited over half an hour, but we've got there. So Elijah Tsatas, is he the biggest lock in the game, particularly as a price of the rookie? So he's dominating preseason. He's playing with the A's. So first round draft pick, obviously yet to establish himself. And he's obviously discounted as well. The link's on the 5 sub games. So that's why he's 180K, 191K, I should say. I don't know. Is that correct? Is he actually, I thought he was a bit cheaper. Maybe.
No, it's 191, 200. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, maybe it was 180K last year. I can't remember. But anyway, super cheap for what I think he can do. And yeah, obviously we saw the carnage. Look at the CBAs. I mean, there's no beyond Zach Merrett. There's literally nobody. So I think Tsatas really comes into the side. He's had to work for his opportunity. He's had to do it the hard way. It's shown that just because you're a top 5 draft pick and a midfielder, you're not just going to walk your way into the side. There's a bit of Riley Sanders about. He's had to work his way through the development squad to really get his opportunity. And I think this is a year that he does. And we touched on Saad El-Hawli with probably the likely sub risk. I don't think Tsatas gets subbed. So we'll see what happens, mate. But we both run in Elijah Tsatas in our midfield.
Oh, for sure. You need him on field. You need to be playing him. Last year was a case of severe mismanagement, playing him on a wing. It was already documented that he needed to improve on his kicking. And so putting him out there on the wing where kicking skills come to the fore was just gross mismanagement, having him as a sub as well.
That's all it is. That's all it is, the wing.
It was so bad.
It's reward. Like, it's how to explain it. It's like, because I've played a lot of wing myself, it's a lot of work for not much reward.
Correct.
You do a lot of running and you probably only get like 10 touches a game. You want to make sure that they're good. They're all outside. So yeah, it's kicking, a lot of kicking and good disposal efficiency, and that's something that I've struggled with as well. I'd rather play off half back, but yeah, Tsatas struggled with that. Reminded me, nowhere near the level, mate. Like, let me tell you, but reminded me a lot about myself. And I know he's gone through, because I feel the exact same amount of pressure when I'm on the wing and I've got 20 meters of space and I absolutely butcher a kick. I know what it's like. So, yeah, relatable, Elijah. I'm with you, brother. But I really hope that he gets a real crack at it on the nut, where he's known, where he can win contested possessions. That's where he's at. So.
Yeah, he went to the VFL after obviously those sub games and playing on a wing. Send him back to the VFL last year where he played all 8 remaining games. How did he do? Well, guess what? He played inside mid where he belongs, and he averaged 32.5 disposals, 4 marks, and 4 tackles.
Yeah, and we can't appreciate that, because he's still, it is VFL, but he's coming up against men.
Yes.
So it shows that he's ready. I think he's ready. Another preseason, probably best on ground at the moment.
Absolutely.
Like, Merrett's just coasting, doesn't need to do a whole lot.
I think Parish, Shiel's gone to halfback. The midfield spots really are opening up for him, and they're entrusting him to be in there, and he's been nothing short of dominant in a lot of these match sims. So, yeah, get on to him.
Yep. I reckon lock him in, particularly if he's playing. No doubt that he's not whatsoever. Now, this one caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting to see this one. We don't have Pryor, but we've got Sam Draper. So, yeah, this is an interesting one. So, 409K, but it's an awkward price. But, yeah, a massive contract year. And can he improve? Joey, I'll throw this one to you, because this isn't one that I've given any thought whatsoever. So I'd love to see your sort of points on why Draper could be a point of value, I suppose. What do you think on him?
Mate, it's actually crazy. We've always been critical of him as Essendon supporters about his lackadaisical nature, and he seems way too jovial and way too chill, and it doesn't seem to have really taken his career seriously. From what we can say, in professionalism probably has been his biggest knock, which of course leads to ridiculous on-field antics. But this preseason, there's been next to none of that. This preseason, he's been really much better, working hard. He's trimmed up a lot. He's cut that mullet as well, that filthy mullet. He's chopped it off as well. So
he's still running with it. It's just a bit shorter, isn't it?
Or lot shorter. It's a lot shorter. Yeah. He's trimmed it up, and he is doing so.
You reckon the mullet's slowing him down on the field, mate? You reckon we'll see a little bit? So when you say shredded weight, you're not talking about his skin fold. You're talking about the mop on his head, the amount of weight that he's carrying on his head there.
Maybe, but he has toned himself down as well. He's definitely doing a lot better with the skin folds as well. That's for sure.
Yeah,
he's doing much better.
He's looking great,
and he's also up there in all of the match sims. A lot of people that are reporting are saying that his work around the ground, because of his lost weight, because he's bulked up a bit more, and he seems to be a lot more serious because of the contract here. He's now moving his way around the ground, taking lots of marks, and being an absolute menace in the forward line. Like, if you get him one-on-one, you're not beating him one-on-one in a strength contest. And he's been improving his goal-kicking accuracy as well with his set shots. So
it got really good last year as well. I remember feeling more confident in him on a set shot than Kyle Langford last year. And I cannot believe I'm saying that after what 2023 brought with Langers. So
look,
I
he's
like
improving even more.
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, I think I see a lot of upside here. What do you think he can do? So obviously 409, you're paying almost keeper price for him. So what's the end game here? If you're going to start him in Classic, I think perfect R2 in draft. Like, he's just solid. I think he'll get the job done. But in Classic, what would make you want to pick him? Because he does have the buy. It's an awkward price. Do you see any real upside realistically for Supercoach?
He does have that awkward buy round. Yes, he's priced at 76. He's priced at 76, which means that if he goes 96, he basically makes you 100K or around there.
He needs to almost do a ton.
He needs to almost do a ton. But I guess what he has going for him is that Essendon have the easiest run for the season when it comes to rucks. The Essendon Football Club has clearly the easiest ruck
Mate, we always
fixture.
get the most donkey fixture, and we still manage to blow it every year. So, look, hopefully big Sammy Draper can capitalise for us this
Draft.
year.
One for draft, not for classic.
Yeah, you can't go near him in classic. But, yeah, if you're doing a draft, I highly recommend Sammy Draper, a back-end draft pick for your R2. So he'd be one I'll be looking at. So going to the forward line now. So I think this could be it. Yeah, this is it. So there's no one in the forward line but this bloke. But what a man it is to have in the forward line, Joey. Isaac Kako. So he was our number one man in the draft. And a bit of controversy in that draft. We moved a lot.
We did the right thing.
A lot to get him. But
we did the right thing.
We did the right thing. It was secure. We got our boy. These are dot points that I have put here. I've written these up. Obviously, DR's put it together. But I've got here a lock to play round one. Big word, but I have him already ahead of Gresham and Menzies. I've already discussed that. I think he's the X factor that we need. I think we don't need a midfielder. We don't need a halfback. We need a forward pocket that can get the job done. So, yeah, he looks fit. He's playing well in match sims. Just despite the syndesmosis and knee injuries in 2024, that really limited his goals and scoring. He spent a lot of time on the sidelines. Big red flag, but looking fit, having a great preseason. 5 goals against Vic Country last year to sort of cap off the year upon a return. So that really got him up the stocks for the draft night. Hence why he was taken pretty early. But he kicked a few goals in match sim. I see him pop up on Insta all the time on the Dons, and he looks like he's have no injuries at all. I mean, syndesmosis and knee injuries, I don't think they're not soft tissue, so they're not likely to reoccur. We'll find out, but mate, he looks fantastic. Bit up and down. He could, he might pop one week and he might really shit the bed the next. So I'm happy to have him accumulate profit on my bench. I do not want to field him unless I absolutely have to. He's in my team, but he's not a lock for me. Do you think he's a lock, Joey? Are you really looking at starting Kako, or is he's not in your squad at the moment?
He's not in my side at the moment, just by virtue of the fact that he's a small forward, and we obviously know small forwards can be pretty hit or miss, and at that elevated price point as well. So I've gone a bit cheaper on my forward bench and paid up the extra money there to bolster up my midfield bench to get those top tier midfield rookies. But you are paying for the job security, you are paying for the DPP, and this guy, I'm saying it now, he's better than the Wizard. Like, this guy...
that's a massive call. You say the screamer the Wizard took a couple of weeks ago in match sim?
Yeah, this guy can do it too. He can do it too. This guy, this guy is... He just can self-create goals. He just breaks your ankles just standing in front of you. He is so elusive.
Look at the picture. Look at this photo.
Yeah. He can just stop on a dime. He can stop on a dime like no one else's business. And when you get an opportunity, he'll kick freakish goals from everywhere. You can't really rely on the Wizard had a lot of misses early on in his career. I can see this guy doing so well and massive impact, and his tackling pressure is really good. We've seen clips of him running down people inside forward 50, which is awesome.
He's
Breeze
hungry,
4, hitting the scoreboard. Look, there are certainly worse picks in your forward lines than Isaac Kako. Absolutely. If you've got the money sitting there and you have enough cash to get up from, maybe if a Davidson isn't playing, because I know Davidson from the Bulldogs seem to be on the B team. If he's not playing, then I'll find the money to get him up to Kako for sure, because Kako will be in the side.
Yeah, I've got Kako. I think I'm running a bit top heavy, because I've got he and Berry. So really looking for that elite, like, rookie security, particularly on the bench. And I think small forwards cop a little bit too much criticism in Supercoach. I mean, it's a hit and miss role. But I remember Connor Rose in his first season, genuine small forward, He won the Coleman. He won the leading goal kicking for Port Adelaide in his first year.
Yeah.
And he was 180K. And I reckon he was high 300s, I think low 400s. And no one had him. Josh Rochelle as well a couple of years ago. Incredible on debut. He popped the same week Nick Martin popped, and another one who was a small forward at the time. So I think when these rookies in the small forward, full pocket essentially, when they get opportunity, that's where I think they really take shape. It's when they sort of have low time on ground. I think he's the man. I think he starts on field.
Yeah.
He's exactly what we need. So he's not 180K like Rosie and Rochelle was. 150. So it's still he's a perfect price point for me because he's not dead rookie territory. Because I've seen, particularly on the mid bench, there's nothing available for like 120K. There's Hewitt, but you're probably going to be running with him in the forward line. There is nothing, like maybe Gross. There's a few popping, but not many. Kako's the man there at the moment. So I like him, but he's far from a lock. I want to see it. I'll see a bit of preseason. Other rookies might come up, but I do like him. I really do like him.
You keep talking, and I've just added him to my forward line. There we go. So there we go. Kako's on my bench.
It was a good pitch, was it? It was a good
very good pitch.
I sold you the pick for now. Has he been your team at all this preseason? For me, he's been in and out, mostly in, but I have dropped him sometimes, but I always find myself going back to him. He just helps me structure. You save that little bit extra money in addition to having, like you have like a Smiley, a Langford, and Ashcroft on your bench. If you're looking to go really rookie deep, I've got Langford on my bench at the moment because I'm looking at running a lot of high-end rookies, and Kako's there too, and Nevitt. So a lot of money on the bench, but
worth it.
Jovan made a really good point when he come on the channel. Obviously, won Supercoach last year. Rookies is where your cash gen comes from. That's the source of how you build your Supercoach team. So you want to get them right. So paying up for those rookies is pretty essential. And I think Kako's pretty not quite a lock for me, but I'm pretty confident on him. I don't really.
Yeah.
There's a lot of upside, pretty low downside. I just wouldn't field him. I wouldn't field him unless I had to, and there was a really aggressive buy. But even then, mate, the flex takes care of itself. That's where flex comes in. It's if it's really bad, worst case scenario, under 50, probably gets cancelled out. So I think you could do a hell of a lot worse than Isaac Kako. That's for sure.
100%. Yeah, I've always been pretty confident in him. We've all been bullish on him as Essendon supporters, and I mean, it's.
Oh, he's gonna be a ripper. I can't wait to watch him play. But I'm sure there's other picks that we can discuss. So we spoke about Roberts and Pryor, who didn't have dot points. But before we do that, how many Dons boys are in your team at the moment? I have 3, but it will probably be 2 after the Saad El-Hawli discussion. I'm not. I think we've convinced each other that he could be a really good sub, but I don't want a sub in my team.
Exactly.
It's not happening.
I've got 3 as well. I've got Reid, Tsatas, and Kako.
Yeah, so we've got 3. We've both got 3, but I've got instead of Reid, I've had Saad El-Hawli. So probably get rid of him. I've still got Kako and Tsatas. They're the main 2 that I'm absolutely bullish on, and really looking to see who's got what role. And I like our buy. It's a good time to have a buy because obviously price changes come out by then, but they're not too catastrophic to where they're out of reach. And we get a whole month of footy to watch. We've got 3 games, 3 Supercoach games where we can watch Dylan Shiel play off halfback and all these. Where's Roberts playing? Where's Nick Martin playing? So we've got a massive sample size of footy to play, and then we can, once we come back round 5, we can really decide which Dons boys we want in our team. And if someone gets injured or burns us, we can sideways trade. We'll see what happens. I think there's a lot of upside with the Essendon picks, but obviously just that buy sort of lets us down.
Buy and piggybacking on that buy being where it is means that the rookies and the players that we have would have had 2 price rises by the time they have their buy. So us and the Hawks, our rookies get the double price rise before we have our buy. So, if you're looking to get on Shiel, well, by that point, he would have had 2 price rises. So you better hope that he hasn't gone off 2 bananas. Otherwise, you'll be paying up over 500, around 500K for him, perhaps.
Yeah, it's super awkward, isn't it? It makes it a bit tricky, but yeah, it's just one that we're just going to have to sort of wait on. I feel like this has been a bit of a draft podcast. if you do draft and you're serious, like, yeah, you pick Shiel, like, yeah, you pick Draper, but in Classic, probably not. Honestly, I like to be.
We're not super relevant this year. We're not super relevant for Classic this year, but it's gonna be your Merrett, it's gonna be your rookies, and that's about it really for us.
Yep. No, I'm pretty bullish on Essendon anyway. I think we've got a bright future, and I don't think it's going to be our year. I don't think we can quite exceed that top 4 territory that we had before the buys, but I'm hoping we can get some really good development in our young players, and then within the next 5 or so years, we can really start like making a statement and showing that yes, we can win a final, we can push for a premiership. But I think we're pretty far away from doing that. So
yes,
and obviously it's a few rookies for Supercoach, so not too much relevance. But I'm still optimistic with what we've got for years to come. But look, man, that's about all we've got. I do appreciate you coming on the channel. You're the first person I asked, mate. I did want you to come on. You're a great bloke, mate. And you got such a good intel with the Bombers. So yeah, this has been a really good podcast. I've enjoyed every bit of it. Before we wrap things up, do you just want to give yourself a bit of a plug? Obviously, you do the Centre Bounce podcast and YouTube channel with Jay as well, and you're doing some unbelievable things. I think you've overtook me on YouTube pretty comfortably last year when I stopped doing content altogether. So you're just smashing it. What do you guys do? What are your plans for this year and things moving forward? If you just want to,
yeah. Oh, cheers, Spillsy. Really appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for having me on. Always a pleasure, of course, talking to you. Don't talk enough about my Bombers to other people on a regular basis. It's mainly listening to Big J complain or praise his ruse all the time. So it's always nice to have a break from North Melbourne chat and talk about the Bombers. Yeah, you can find us on the Centre Bounce, on Twitter at bounce_center, or on YouTube, of course, at the Centre Bounce. We do live streams every Monday night at this point in time, and then during the season, there's always the drive home Thursday at 5:30 p.m. We do live reactions to the team sheets as they come out, which is always really fun and exciting. And some of our people here on the channel, they absolutely love the Monday night ones. The Centre Bounce dudes, as some people like to call it, on the Monday night. So yeah, we got a lot of good viewers there and a lot of great, interaction. We've started up members, and we're going to looking to do a community team. So if you want to be part of that, then you're going to be a member. And of course, we'll continue to do our rate my team videos. So follow us and subscribe to us when we make our next notification of our next rate my team video. Send us your team on the Facebook, and we'll review your team. So it will be especially relevant after these practice games, that's for sure.
Gee, you guys are smashing it. You've got pretty much more than we've got. Like, we've got the guide, but other than that, I think you guys are smashing us for content. So yeah, we're a big fan of your work, and yeah, it was pretty obvious getting you boys on. I don't know if they've done the North Melbourne one yet, but I'm pretty sure Big J's a massive shout for that. I think he's coming on, or if not, has done it. I don't know if they're recorded or not. I'm not doing it, but yeah, very obvious guest for that. So yeah, we love having you boys on the podcast. It's always a good shout, and no doubt you will feature at some point throughout the year. We do plan to have guests on from time to time, so we'll keep you in the loop there. But yeah, it's been a pleasure having you on, man, and I really look forward to seeing you boys doing some great things, and best of luck for the season. I hope things turn around, particularly for me. Like, I need to bounce back. I need to come back this year. I think
we all do, mate. We all do. Self-improvement is always important, 100%. And hopefully we're not pulling our hairs out too much with the Bombers this year. Let's just hope for some good development and push for finals next year, perhaps.
For sure, man. It's great to have you on, and yeah, a bit of housekeeping for the podcast. So the guide's coming out very soon. We do have, I think my next team preview is Geelong, and I have reached out to Shorty, so I think I'll be doing that with him.
Nice.
I think Janath did a Carlton one with Damon.
With Damo from Supercoach Edge.
Damo, yeah, and they smashed out. Always get that twisted. I'm terrible with names at time, mate. Yeah, but I think they did a heap of work. I reckon DR told me they had about 18 players, so they're definitely gonna do a bit of.
Well, they're more relevant than we are. All right, look, it's just we can't complain, mate. All right, we had fun and we gave people what they wanted. All right, and that's the most important thing, I reckon.
Mate, we've had 8 players that we spoke about, and it's gone for nearly an hour. Imagine what these boys are going to whip up. I mean, this could be a 3-hour preview. So, yeah, strap yourselves in for it. I look forward to watching the Carlton one because I'm running with Adam Chera in my midfield. Risky, nice. I know, but I see a lot of value. That's a story for another day, but we'll wait and see. But yeah, I won't keep everyone waiting anymore. We'll wrap it up here, mate. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it, and hopefully the Dons have a great year, and more importantly, hopefully we both have a ripper 2025. So thanks for coming on the podcast, man. We appreciate you, boys.
Anytime. Thanks for having us. Guys, if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. What are you guys doing? What are you doing?
Unreal. All right. Thanks, Joey. Appreciate it, mate. Take care.
See ya. Bye.
Ciao.